We've got breaking news out of college football where Auburn has fired head coach Hugh Freeze in the midst of his third season with the Tigers. That is according to ESPN from multiple reports and the latest from our Matt Zenitz. Auburn dropped to 4-5 on the year following Saturday's 10-3 defeat to Kentucky at Jordan-Hare Stadium. It was good for the fewest points scored in any game during the Hugh Freeze era. Saturday's loss dropped the Tigers to 1-5 in SEC games this season, which is tied for the third worst record in the league. Freeze finishes his career on the Plains with a 15-9 record, falling to a single winning season with the Tigers. Auburn will now be looking for its third head coach since the start of the 2021 season. Our Brandon Marcello reports that defensive coordinator DJ Durkin will now take over as the interim head coach. Let's bring in our Matt Zenitz, who has been on this breaking news from the very start. Matt, not a total shock considering what has been happening this season, what happened yesterday, and what you reported earlier today, saying that they have canceled afternoon meetings. So, again, not a shock that we've gotten to this point. But what overall led to Hugh Freeze being fired today by Auburn?
Just a lack of production. Auburn, a very proud place, a place that expects to be in the playoff and national championship conversation on a regular basis, and a place that within the last decade has obviously been right there in terms of competing for those types of things. And for Hugh Freeze, now being in year 3, finishes his run there with a 15-19 record. That's below Auburn standards. Lost to a team last night in Kentucky that was previously 0-5 against SEC competition this year, and making it even worse to go along with the loss is that Hugh Freeze obviously has the background and reputation that he does from an offensive perspective, and during the course of that loss last night managed just 3 points against that Kentucky team.
Yeah, you mentioned coming in and was hoping to reshape this offense, bringing in multiple transfer portal quarterbacks. None of them seem to work on Saturday or for the rest of the season. I mean, 1-5 in SEC play. So why do you think ultimately it didn't work at Auburn for Hugh Freeze?
A variety of different reasons, but the quarterback play, just to look at that specifically, there's no more important position on the field than the quarterback position. They made a big splash landing Jackson Arnold this offseason. Transfer from Oklahoma, was one of the bigger name transfers during the course of this past offseason. And ultimately, it just didn't work out, which is unfortunate because there is a lot of talent on that Auburn roster in terms of players that people around the NFL world view as next level type guys and potential draftable players, and ultimately didn't get the level of production from the quarterback position that they were hoping for from a combination of Jackson Arnold and Ashton Daniels, including last night, obviously.
Yeah, they've been recruiting really well, particularly at the wide receiver position, so making it all the more confounding how they're only able to put up 3 points against Kentucky. Looking ahead, though, Matt, Auburn now enters a crazy coaching carousel market. Where do you view this job among the openings that we already know about?
Probably right there below LSU, tied with Penn State and Florida. So I would put LSU as the clear number 1 right now, and then would have the combination of Penn State, Auburn, Florida in similar tier 2 type range. And a definite attractive job, probably one of the top 10 to 15 jobs on a national level that will garner a lot of interest from some respected figures around the coaching space.
Well, there are so many coaches to go around, Matt Zenitz, so who are maybe some early names that we should keep an eye on for this Auburn opening?
Too early to tell, and I'm not one that's big on just throwing out names that could make sense. To do that, would prefer to have actual real information of substance. I will say, if you want to go down the road of some that at least have come up in conversations with industry sources as ones that maybe could end up being possibilities, in no particular order, you can lay out the Brent Keys of the world. Brent doing a great job at Georgia Tech. James Franklin is somebody who's currently out of it right now. Obviously, we talked about Penn State and them having made a move already with James. He wants to get back into it immediately as far as being a head coach again, and I could see Auburn being a place that maybe gives him a look. And then there are other ones, whether it's Eli Drinkowitz, who has been at Auburn at one point in his career and obviously has had success in the SEC. Clark Lee doing a great job at Vanderbilt. John Sumrall, whose wife is an Auburn grad, he's accomplished a lot at the combination of Troy and now Tulane. Just some of the ones that would fall in that kind of category, even though cannot emphasize enough that it is too early to tell just who the true top targets will be.
Yeah, and a lot of those targets are names that we've heard for the other jobs that are open, so they just continue to swirl. We'll see how it all shakes out. Matt Zenitz, thank you for joining us once again with that news that Auburn has fired their head coach, Hugh Freeze. Taking a look at the most losses in the first 3 seasons as an Auburn head coach, you see Hugh Freeze ranking second there with 19, 15 and 19 as the Auburn head coach, and probably most damning, just 2 and 9 in the SEC at Jordan-Hare Stadium, which is a great home environment. Not able to take advantage of that, particularly last night with a 10-3 loss to Kentucky.